Creating marketing material, video production, photography, wherever it's going to be hosted is actually a challenging process, not only for the creative team, but for the business owner as well. It's important that the business owner understands going into a project that unless they have someone delegated to work directly with the media company, it's going to require a lot of work from them. There is a lot of questions that need to be answered. There's a lot of direction that needs to be given on who exactly and what exactly you're trying to target. It is similar to building a pool. When you build a pool, you have a certain size space. You draw up the architectural designs, you get the permits, and then you move into how much product it's going to take, material, and how much labor. When you have a creative team, there are some key elements that aren't as by the book as, hey, we have this space, we need this is what I want you to build. It's a creative process. That's where the trouble comes in. Creative process. How could you best help the media company produce the highest quality, best representation of your product or your service? How you could do that is to get involved. When a video company comes to you or a marketing team, it's crucial you know where it's going to go and what the goals of it are. What is your budget? It sounds like such an abrasive question, but in reality, it's almost impossible not to ask that question because it needs to be one of two things. You either, as a business, need to know exactly what you want to produce, the direction, where you want the creative, how you want it to look, and how much time you want to spend so that the media company can quote it, or you have to know how much you want to spend, one or the other. There's no middle. At Spectrum Innovations, we've done some award-winning content for a hair transplant company. This is one of many. They have a certain criteria for talent where they have to meet a certain balding level. It is extremely difficult to find that exact talent that's qualified, can portray the correct mannerisms, and has the exact amount of balding that fits their scale to reach their target audience. So without knowing exactly who we're trying to portray to, I'd never know that we need this exact balding scale. And without knowing that, I wouldn't know, oh, that might take a week. It might take 2 weeks. It might take 3 weeks. It might take a month to find the proper talent. So these are all things to consider in the process. Okay, let's go to the next bullet point. How long is that content going to live? Is it going to live on your website for eternity? Are you going to want to restructure the footage a year from now? It's all very, very important questions because if you use talent and they sign a waiver to use their face for a certain video and then you want to repurpose the footage, it requires paying them additional when you cross that bridge to repurpose the footage for another project or for another ad. So all things to consider moving into where is the content going to live and for how long. If it's going to be more views, the talent's going to want more money. It's that simple. And when we're on the topic of talent, this is probably going to be the biggest sting for a business owner to hear, but your friends aren't good for the video. Your family is not someone you should be using. Models are professional faces that portray professional mannerisms, and they get across a specific point you're trying to showcase. They get across a specific emotion. That's their job. I assure you, if it costs an extra $1,000 to hire a professional talent versus having friends and family, it's a 10x value. You definitely do not skimp on the budget in this department. What is next? Location. Where are you shooting this project? Can you shoot it at your friend's house? Can you shoot it at your friend's restaurant? Can you shoot it at a studio? Locations require a location release so that in the future, when you and that person don't get along anymore or there's some type of drama, guess what? In the future, you have on paper that you're legally allowed to use their location. These are suggestions. I did not pass the Florida bar. I am not an attorney, and I am not giving you legal advice. Huge topic. We're going to need our editor to do some illustrations here. It would be irresponsible to assume that you know what vertical versus horizontal is. You may not. Horizontal footage and vertical footage are not created equal. They have different deliverables, they have different perspectives, and it's crucial to understand where the footage is going to end up, because that makes the media company understand the aspect ratio that they want to film it at. For reference, if you're creating a website video, it's going to be most likely filmed horizontal. If you have some social media you want to pull from that horizontal, you have a choice. You can up the budget, bring another camera operator, another camera, another lens, and you can run them side by side, and you can shoot vertical simultaneously or separate and have better looking footage for social media. If you take your horizontal video and you punch in to a vertical clip, it's not going to be framed the same. It's not going to feel the same. It's not going to portray the same emotion. It might be too cropped in. It's best that you understand precisely where the footage is going to go, and then let the media company decide how to handle whether it's going to be vertical or horizontal. All right, what's the next topic? Okay, open the curtains. This is a big one. Got the lights. Oh man. This is by far one of the biggest topics. Using illegal music is a risky endeavor. It will open doors for a lot of things that could happen. You could get copyright claim. It's going to get ads blasted all over your YouTube video. There are platforms that allow you to use illegal music and they just feature ads. But I want to talk about one topic in particular, and that's the use of illegal music in the real estate world. Recently, May of 2024, the Marriott was allegedly sued for utilizing illegal music in their social media platforms. It wasn't just the Marriott, it was influencers being hired by the Marriott. Bam! $139 million lawsuit from Sony. It's a ticking time bomb if you didn't think music labels were watching real estate agents and brokers who are doing $1 billion in sales, and they're utilizing illegal music to facilitate those sales. They most likely have a list of all the projects that you've used illegal songs, and they're just waiting for it to hit a certain dollar amount, and then they're going to lay it on you thick, and it's going to hurt real bad, especially your bank account. I mean, what do you want me to say? You're going to have to pay the piper on one side or the other for doing something like this. I highly suggest using royalty-free music. An editor will gladly say, sure, let's do a illegal song, because when you use an illegal song, it creates a certain emotion. Immediately, the viewer is familiar with the song. They have a certain emotion about it. It adds a lot of quality and value to the video, but I don't think the other side of the sword is worth that. I think that if the editor just works a little bit harder at finding a song on royalty-free music and make sure that it's well curated to meet the beat drops and everything gets a 10% extra editing, it has the same effect in a sense, because you can never relate to someone how they feel emotionally about illegal song. Another thing, what makes a song be under copyright infringement? When it's recognizable. The second you recognize the beat, that's a copyright infringement. They say there's 3 other criteria. At the end of the day, if you recognize the beat, if you recognize the song, you're opening Pandora's box to copyright infringement. With that being said, cue the illegal music. No, do not. We're using royalty-free music from Artlist.io. Duh. They just grow every single day. Stock footage, royalty-free music, plugins, titles. It's phenomenal. And I'm not even paid to say that. So, yee. There's a website out there that offers rights to copyrighted hit songs. I inquired with this website because I was super curious, like, wow, is this the hidden key to using illegal music? Unfortunately, it's just for influencers and it's not for commercial use. I don't want to mention the website name because I don't want to open myself up to some type of slander, but I did look into it, and it starts with an L, ends with a D, and that website is only for influencers, and it is only for influencing, not for commercial products. The more you know, the more you can facilitate your production company, your media team that you go with, the better the product's going to be. To recap, talent, how long you're going to use it, what license, make sure you go over that. Budget versus absolute direction with the creative. Those are your two options. You either need to know what you're going to spend or exactly what you want to spend the money on, so the company can give you a proper quote. Location releases, illegal music, copyrighted music, royalty-free music, and last but not least, if you found this video beneficial or educational and it assisted you in any way, that's what we're doing this for. And click the link if you want to use Artlist in your next production, and or subscribe. It's up to you. It's your phone. It's your YouTube. It's not mine. I'm just trying to help.